they can do that. But let's move on for the time being. The proposal to ban single-use plastic has India Inc. on the edge. The industry-based clarity on the BOP, that in fact is a component of F&B packaging. The producers of BOPP, in fact, are Cosmo Films as well as Uflex. They do a mix of BOPP as well as BOPET, both of them packaging materials. We have Pankaj Poddar, the CEO of Cosmo Films, and Mr. Rajesh Bhatia, the Group President and CFO at Uflex, who join us. Good morning, gentlemen. Thanks so much for joining in. Well, coming across to you first, Mr. Poddar, give us some clarity. Have you heard from the government in terms of, how much, to what extent this ban could go? We have heard that it's going to be on single-use plastic. You produce BOPP. There were talks that, in fact, that as well could be under the radar. Could you give us some clarification on that front?
Yes, so we have been discussing with the government, and they are looking at two things. First is how the plastic collection can improve and the recycling can improve. And the other side, they're also seeing that what are those items which can be banned or reduced. I think some of those items could be straws, and there's a lot of things under discussion right now, and enough clarity is not there, which I believe will come in the coming days. As far as the flexible packaging is concerned, it's a very, very important component in today's fast-moving life. And I do not see any discussion that's going on that, and neither it is required. Definitely one very good thing which government is planning to do is to improve recycling, is to see how waste can be collected. And we also have given a proposal to the government in terms of how from every home the waste should be collected, how it should be segregated. And in today's world, there is a lot of automatic segregation which is possible. So government is going in that right direction in terms of how this plastic needs to be collected, recycled. Now coming back to BOPP, I think BOPP plastics in itself is a wonder material, and BOPP is all the more beautiful material because of the simple fact that BOPP is recyclable many, many times. So what we are actually doing with so many large brands is to help them make recyclable structures. So basically they are going for these homogeneous structures and trying to make those recyclable. So we are quite in front end. We see a lot of opportunity happening because a lot of these structures are shifting to something which is commercially more viable for the recycler. So we are getting a lot of these calls and businesses from brands, and these are not Indian opportunities.
Right. Yeah. Mr. Poddar, just to keep it simple, so you believe that BOPP, that will not be coming in under this proposed ban, right? That's what you're trying to get at. And if you could give us a rough sense about how much of your revenues come in based on BOPP?
So almost all our revenues come from polypropylene based materials. So either it is BOPP and a small portion goes to CPP. And I think both are highly preferred by all the food brands.
Okay.
And the other thing that we are into is into textile bags, where also we see an opportunity because government is looking to increase the microns to 50 plus. And that should also boost the demand for textile bags. So we see a large opportunity there. And I think in both the areas, we are ourselves helping the government in terms of suggesting what should be done.
Okay.
And to some extent, we are also participating in this entire exercise of recycling.
Okay, got that. Let's also bring in Mr. Rajesh Bhatia into the conversation. Mr. Bhatia, we understood BOPP is recyclable. Can you just tell us more about BOPET as well? As a material, does that get at all impacted by this war on single-use plastic? Is there any other material that you produce which might be impacted adversely because of this?
So I think, as Mr. Poddar said rightly, that the focus currently is on single-use plastic ban. The bags, some sort of cutlery, and some sort of small bottles. Which is polluting the environment. But I think as the things will go along, I think the focus will shift clearly to recycling, segregation and recycling. It's already been done worldwide. Uflex, as a pioneer in the industry, is already doing it for the last more than 2 decades. It's all the plastic waste, whether it is BOPP, printed laminate, constituting of BOPET or any other material, is today being recycled at all the plants. And all that we need to do is that, put up a segregation system in place, so that the multiple the constituents of the garbage you can segregate, and then recycling is possible thereafter very easily. Today also UFlex at its US plant is producing BOPET films using minimum 90% of the the used PET bottles. So there is already sort of facilities which are using all the plastic which might fall in the single-use ban.
Yeah, so that's exactly what I'm trying to clarify. We get your point on recycling, that both BOPP and BOPET can be recycled, but that's not the immediate question. What I'm trying to understand is whether these products are used in single-use plastics, which will come under the scanner now, which will come under the ban. So does it immediately impact you? I'm not sure what kind of plastic or packaging material goes in single-use plastics.
So we'll certainly not impacted in any way, because we are into the multi-layer packaging, and that's where our most of the plastic, most of the BOPET or the BOPP film goes. And that's not a matter of concern at this point in time.
Okay. And
as Mr. Poddar said, and we also strongly believe that the focus has to be on the segregation and recycling. So UFlex, through the association, industry association, is going to set up a model plant, which is going to segregate all the garbages. The garbage could be paper, glass, plastics, bottles, anything of sorts, of sort it out. And then the plastics, both the single use and the multi-layer plastics, will be available for recycling. So we will showcase through the industry forums to the government that this is being done today, and that's the need of the hour. While the single-use plastic ban may be there for a short time, but if you have a clear solutions towards recycling. Also, I will lay a lot of emphasis on the biodegradability, and UFlex is again taking the leadership in that, and we already have solutions which are fully biodegradable. The films can be made fully biodegradable, which means that some plastic which cannot be collected because somebody is thrown on the roadside or on the beaches, gets biomass over a period of 2 to 3 years, and then it acts like a fertilizer. So I think both things, recyclability and biodegradability, is the need of the hour today.
Okay.
And industry has not been doing it. There has to be pressure on the industry to do it. There are solutions clearly available apart from banning the things, but I think slowly, once the pressure comes on the industry, obviously it will mean some increased cost for them. But clearly, when the solutions are available, the banning will be only an intermittent thing, and I think the word will move to recyclability and biodegradability.
Okay, all right, Mr. Bhatia and Mr. Poddar, thanks so much for joining in. So, short point that they're saying is single-use plastic can be banned. They are into multi-layered plastic, so they don't believe that, in fact, their businesses will come under pressure. In fact, they believe that there is an opportunity out there, because all the packaging material that they produce is recyclable. However, the industry is concerned about collecting this, this recyclable packaging products, and then it can be recycled. If it doesn't reach the recycled, location, then how does that happen? So we'll keep an eye out on this. For the time being, both UFlex as well as Cosmo Films, they believe that, in fact, they're not going to be impacted
at all. Yeah. Let's take a break on that note. We'll come back on the other side with a chat with Karan Bhagat, MD and CEO of IIFL Wealth Management.